Hi guys, it's a new build with the Bitfenix Prodigy M. I'm a bit of a fan of small form factor cases. I built in the original Prodigy before, even though that wasn't very small for the size, but basically all they've done is modded the mATX, made it into a mATX case, and you can see that it fits in there quite snug with all the components in there. I'll take you through what I've got. So Bitfenix Prodigy M, white, frosted white case. I think it's called Arctic Wolf or Arctic White or something. In here is a 600mm Strider power supply from Silverstone, 600 watt, 16mm depth. It doesn't really matter. See, the graphics card lane sort of ends at the back of it, so it's fine if you get a bigger one. You might need to watch your length. If you've got a longer graphics card, maybe a 7990 or something like that, you might run into the back if you've got a 16mm, 16 centimeter power supply. But that's what I got, fully modular. I've tucked all the cables back in the back corner there. You can't really see it. I think that's sort of the point of it. But I'm also running an NHD14, so an air cooler this time. On this case, I've used Noctua products before, and this performs just as well as any water cooler, actually probably better. I've got a 230mm Spectre Pro on the bottom here, and a 140mm Spectre on the back here. Both are Spectre Pros with white LEDs, just sort of add a nice touch. I've put the two case fans in the top here as intakes, and this fan down the bottom as intake, and just this one fan out here for exhaust. I noticed that might lead to a build-up of dust because you've got less exhaust than intake, but for my graphics card I really need an intake in the top, and for my cooler here I really need an intake on the bottom. So in terms of just performance, I'm looking for the best possible intake and the best possible intake of cold air. In here I've got a GTX 680, which I found on a bargain. So this is a last gen NVIDIA card, EVGA, typical blower style cooler. I would have probably liked a normal style cooler, but for the price I got this GTX 680 at, I'm happy just to have it. With the two fans in the top in intake, they're blowing right on top of that blower type cooler, so that's fine. Any hot air that might rise out of the cooler onto the thing will just get pushed away by these two fans going down. So these two fans are pushing towards the back here, towards this exhaust fan, and it's all pulling one way, and this fan is just providing the Noctua some cool air. And so the airflow sort of goes from the bottom in this way and through here out through that GTX 680. The board I'm using today is Gigabyte Z87M-D3HP. So Z87 board, capable of overclocking very much, and very cost efficient. I think about 130 last time I looked at, so a pretty easy going mATX board. One slot of PCI 3 full speed, and the rest are just I think the other one that's there is a 4-speed one, times 4. So you're not looking at SLI, but you're definitely looking at one graphics card running at full speed and a bunch of other peripheral types things. In terms of back panel, it's relatively the same as most other boards. There's heaps of USB 3, DVI, EVGA, which is interesting, HDMI, just gigabit Ethernet, and 5.1 there with SPDIF out, and PS2 port as well. 680 has DVI-D, I think, and HDMI and DisplayPort out. What else is there? Two fans at top. In the front here I'm running a Bitfenix Recon. It's got the sound on, so it's a bit annoying. You can turn that off just by pressing that button there. Yep, now it's off. You can control all the fans I got in here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 fans I think that's max how much you can fit in. You can fit 5 if you replace the bottom 230 with two 120s or something. Yeah, I think you can fit two 120s in there. So that would fill up all 5 rails that this is capable of handling. What I do suggest is you download the program that comes along with it, which is a local host. You're able to control it over your network. It makes it, besides controlling over network, you can control it through your desktop. That's just the main thing. It's a program for controlling these fans, setting their limit as to where they go 100% and just working with that. So currently I have one of these fans on idle, this one here, and the one closest to the blower I have on all the time. And so when that gets hot, this triggers on and starts goes 100%. These two are sort of triggered by all the other components which I've got temp gauges on. So when it gets hot again, these start to build up. That's basically it for the build. It was pretty hard building in here. I would not suggest putting it all together on the board and then putting it in. The reason why is because you got RAM problems. You got these fans. If you put fans in the bottom, it's hard to get to the motherboard screws. So I'd suggest putting your motherboard in first and building your components around it. As annoying as that seems, it's very tight case. Like, there's not much room there. And for cable management, I'd show you the back, but it's a bit embarrassing on this side panel here, because there is literally, if you look in the case, there's no room. You decide sticking it out in the air over here or down the side here to put your cables. Your cables basically have to go in that back left corner and down the side and across the side panel. So that's what I've done. I've run my SSD on the side panel, just stuck on the back there, and all my excess cables down the back. I've tried my best to cable manage the front here, except for these PCI cables. You can't really do much about that. And yeah, that's practically it. Really easy build to figure out, really hard to put together. A lot of maneuvering to get this in here, and with that GTX 680 right there, it's quite hard to get it out. If you think about it, you can't stick your finger down there to get that out. Same with USB 3. I'd connect all your connectors up before you put all your big components in, because once your big components in, there's no way you're reaching down there to get the USB 3 out and your SATA out and whatever you need to get out in your USB over there. It's just all annoying, and if you've got big hands, you can't get in. You need someone with small hands to pick them out, so really annoying. But get these big components in last. That's what I suggest. And that's it. If you have any questions, I'm running a 4670K. This time I only managed to get up to 4 gigahertz. I've tried everything and to get it up higher. It idles really cold, but as soon as you put the voltage up, it just throttles. It throttles at 4, and you can't put any more volts into it to make it go any quicker. So I'm quite amazed that I can only get a 2 gigahertz improvement over the boost compared to my last one, which was 0.8. No, I think I got like 14. I got 1.4 gigahertz over the stock. I got 4.8 on the 4670K, but this one's totally different. So hey, I guess it's just like a lottery. Hey, any questions? Feel free to post them in. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah. So cheers.